want to start reading verse 24 today of Genesis chapter 26. There's an interesting appearance of the Lord here to Isaac. In verse 24, it says, where the Lord appeared to him on the night of his arrival. I am the God of your father Abraham, he said. Do not be afraid, for I am with you and will bless you. I will multiply your descendants, and they will become a great nation. I will do this because of my promise to Abraham, my servant. Then Isaac built an altar there and worshiped the Lord. He set up his camp at that place, and his servants dug another well. Got another well thrown in there, didn't we? We had to have one more. But the interesting thing here, and the most important thing, is this appearance. If you remember, God had already stated the covenant to Isaac. He had already come to Isaac and said, this promise is passing to you. He comes to him again. This is mimicking what God did with Abraham. There were multiple times earlier in the book of Genesis that God came to Abraham and reinforced this covenant. He kept telling him, you will be a great nation. You will have this land. The whole world will be blessed through you. Those who bless you will be blessed. Those who curse you will be cursed. Your descendants will be as numerous as the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore, right? He tells Abraham that multiple times. Well, he tells Isaac these same things multiple times too, because it's true that we need to hear God's promises over and over. It's easy for us to get into a tough spot. And Isaac had been having problems, right? He had moved from place to place trying to find somewhere where people would just leave him alone. Let him dig a well and water his herds and his flocks and be left in peace. But they won't do it. They keep stealing from him, taking from him because they're jealous. They want what he has. He knows his life could even be in danger here. So that's why in verse 24 it says, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid, for I'm with you and will bless you. He kind of had something to be afraid of, right? His life could be in danger from these different places and peoples coming at him and wanting the things that he has. I mean, it happens today still in our nation. You know, I saw a news article the other day of an elderly gentleman that was killed in a bathroom in a store over his wallet, right? So how much more likely would it be in this day and time to have somebody kill a very wealthy man to take his flocks and his herds and his possessions? It's very possible. So God tells him, don't be afraid. And then he restates that covenant. These are the things I'm going to do for you. This is who I am. And I love Isaac's response, right? Isaac's response to this in verse 25 is to build an altar and worship. So he accepts it. He's grateful for it. And he worships God for it. And the final thing to bring out in this is the why. He says, I will do this. This is in verse 24. He says, I will do this because of my promise to Abraham, my servant. The covenant being passed, and it all rolled back to Abraham. Abraham wasn't perfect, but he was made righteous by his faith. And because of that, this promise is coming down to this son who will be faithful to God as well. It's a good word for us. See you guys later.